Welcome to the news at 4 on Canal English. I am Elie Smith. The headlines. March in the city of Victoria. Organizers' claim is to fight against extremism and promote peace in the OPEC city. The rate of HIV/AIDS is on the rise in spite of all the campaigns to slow the pandemic. Stakeholders are not happy, and Dee Maureen will be explaining us why in this newscast. The Wouri division now officially have a new senior divisional officer. He was installed this morning in a colorful ceremony presided over by the governor of the Littoral region. Those were the headlines. As I announced at the beginning of this newscast, today, the 6th day of April 2017, an important day in the history, not of this country, but of this regime, the city dwellers of Limbe have taken part in a march past to call for peace in that locality. The march, which took place on the 4th of April, was organized by the City Council. For more, Fondia Leke.
No to violence, let peace reign. This is the message that has been echoed as denizens of the city of Limbe marched calling for peace. Organized by the Limbe 1 City Council, the march took place on Tuesday, April 4th, and city dwellers used the occasion to send strong messages about the need to jealously protect their beautiful city, town of friendship. According to some authorities, the activity is very symbolic.
And this march is symbolic in the sense that the inhabitants and the population of Limbe are denouncing violence in all its forms. We believe that dialogue and peace is the way to go if we have any differences.
The march comes after 2 of Limbe's markets were burned down, and authorities therefore decided to take this walk to call for an end to what they call extremism. The government delegate to the Limbe City Council, Mr. Andrew Mutanga Majimba, says enough is enough.
The message I want to send, you can see behind me the crowd, the large crowd behind me. I left my office.
The senior divisional officer of Limbe, Zhang 3, who also took part in the march, said the activity was timely.
You have to stand firmly against any criminal act in our town. If they have the problem somewhere, let them destroy the country, but they don't have to come down to Limbe.
While the march can be said to have been successful, some observers have said the march is just a show of shame for people who refuse to believe there is a crucial Anglophone crisis that needs a solution.
It would have been surprising to expect something else if such a march past was organized by the City Council of Victoria, or Limbe officially as it is known, and then you had the participation of Mr. Zhang III. Back here in the Littoral, where stakeholders in the fight against HIV/AIDS have frowned at the strategy to reach out to the population, which they claim has yielded no positive results, making condoms accessible to all still a major problem. This time around, they have decided to involve administrative, religious, and council authorities in their fight against HIV/AIDS in a bid and in the hope that it will succeed. Dee Maureen has more.
Our village is one of the most popular special joints in the east entrance of Douala, Cameroon. Popularly called Carrefour Geratemavi, this neighborhood is a melting pot for commercial sex workers. Brothels and motels are splattered at every street corner, ready to welcome just anybody who is out to quench his or her libido. Sex is sold on fingertips in the area. From 15 right up to 50 years, commercial sex workers litter the streets all day long. This situation is very preoccupying to stakeholders involved in the fight against new HIV infections.
To the authorities that VIH have the new sector who are sex workers, who have men who have sex with men, who have adolescents, who have a high prevalence rate. That is important to work and implement this project.
From the reports, 75% of the population are not well informed about the disease, while 70% of youths between 15 and 24 don't use condoms at all. Experts say there is need to change strategy in reaching out to the population, promote the systematic use of condoms, and make condoms accessible to all.
They are now showing us what is going on by the state, by the other stakeholders for the prevention and the cure of the HIV. So we have to go in our territories and and continue the sensitization.
Cameroon, it should be noted, is the second most affected country in Central and West Africa with a prevalence rate of 4.3%. Women are the most vulnerable to the disease. The Douala workshop of April 5, 2017 is aimed at creating awareness on new infections, on new HIV infections.
From the fight against HIV/AIDS, Maureen tells us that the new senior divisional officer for the Wouri division, Joseph Bertrand, has been recommended by the Littoral governor to fight against the high rate of criminality or the rise of criminality within the Wouri division, crack down on illegal health centers, and also, most importantly, the closures of the multiplicity of bars around the University of Douala. Just a kilometer around the university, you have 250 registered bars and other places of pleasure. So the new senior divisional officer has a tall order to crack down on all those illegal structures. Once again, Maureen has details.
Shut down unauthorized clandestine clinics responsible for numerous untold deaths, illegal health centers that are faced with infrastructure problems and are not well equipped to properly handle emergencies. Guard against the multiplicity of drinking spots at the university area and around schools, making sure the owners operate according to the law. Sensitize the population against constructing in risk zones prone to floods and other catastrophe. Arrest untold urban disorder and rising criminality and banditry. These are among the many problems described as a threat to the development of the city of Douala. Problems which must be tackled with immediate effect by the newly installed SDO for Wouri, Joseph Bertrand Maché. Littoral governor instructed the new Wouri head to leave no stone unturned.
Une unité administrative a une vie qu'elle assure. Celle du département du Wouri l'amène à connaître aujourd'hui une nouvelle étape dans sa marche en avant.
Samuel Dieudonné Vaha Dubois is officially installing the new Wouri senior divisional officer into his functions.
Population du Wouri, de par le président de la République et conformément aux dispositions du décret dont lecture vient de vous être donnée, voici votre nouveau préfet.
The 51-year-old seasoned administrator, before his appointment, has served as senior divisional officer for Diamare, Mezam, and Menue divisions. Joseph Bertrand Maché John Waite replaces Nasiri Pobia, who is now governor of the Central region. It is thus a new page for a division where urban disorder is the order of the day.
And the senior divisional officer, the newly installed Mr. Bertrand Maché, has a lot to do. In the following report, Regina Fongia-Leke tells us that dealers in old or used cars around the historic Hotel le Nde have been asked to vacate the position. While some of them have abided to the order, naturally some are still resistant. Regina Fongia-Leke was there and brought back this report.
It is 1 p.m. this Thursday in Douala, and circulation is free in the area popularly known as Hotel le Nde. These road pavements for a long time have been transformed into a commercial parking lot by those involved in selling second-handed cars. The cars are leaving the site progressively because they have been given a deadline of 1 week by the Douala 1 Council for them to take their vehicles out of the parking lot. When you come to this area, you realize the disorder that used to be here has reduced. The road pavement is gradually being liberated. For the moment, we can say that things are changing. At our level, we are trying to tell stubborn people who don't want to leave that it is time and they have to leave. These businessmen have been in this flourishing business for such a long time.
Le délégué était venu ici sur le terrain. Il nous a fait
The delegate came to the field and said they would look for a relocation site, but we are still waiting to see the new site. This is not the first time this decision is being taken by authorities. It would be recalled that in 2015, former Governor Joseph Betty Asomo had given them 2 weeks to leave this area. But this time, we can only wait to see if this will happen.
Let's hope that the current or the new senior divisional officers' orders will be executed. And as you followed in that report, that of Betty Asomo were never executed. And a recent statistic presented by Jumia Travel reveals that Cameroon has more than 800 touristic sites and attracts 375 billion to Cameroon's gross domestic product. The report falls in line with the touristic season launched this April 6th in Douala, Littoral region. Crystal Catala.
According to a hospitality report presented by Jumia Travel, the sector of tourism in Cameroon is on a positive trend. With more than 800 touristic sites, the sector represents 2.7% of Cameroon's gross domestic product GDP and attracts 375 billion of foreign investment in Cameroon.
Today we have published our hospitality report. So what is the hospitality report? The hospitality report is a report that we publish every year and that tends to demonstrate what the trend in terms of tourism in all countries and where we are in plant, but today for Cameroon. What the hospitality report said this year for Cameroon. It says first that there's a very positive trend that exists with two main impacts. The first one is a very good growth. For example, last year in 2015, the tourism in Cameroon increased of 3.1%. So that's a very good trend. And the new figures that we have for 2016 is a 5.6% increase for Cameroon. So that's the very first demonstration of this report. The second one is in terms of jobs and hiring and creating some new jobs. And we have today 2.7% of the jobs in Cameroon that are related to tourism. So that's very good news. It demonstrates that there's a positive mechanism between tourism and global growth, and so that the two main points that are demonstrated today in this hospitality report. So conclusion is quite positive with a lot of new challenges, but quite positive.
Since 2014, that the country was proclaimed a touristic destination by international organizations, the sector has been hindered by several factors like lack of infrastructure, lack of good roads, and the prevailing insecurity in the Greater North. In addition to this, most touristic sites in Cameroon are not known by many Cameroonians and outsiders. Jumia Travel intends to accompany the government in the task. The government needs to create an internet website exclusively to inform on tourism. This will reinforce destination and boost the touristic potential of Cameroon. The expansion of the touristic sector in Cameroon will greatly contribute to the development of the country.
Today, April 6th, marks 33 years since elements of the Presidential Guard allegedly organized an abortive coup to unseat Paul Biya. Our reporter Regina Fongia-Leke went around Douala to find out what memories Cameroonians hold of this day. Her report.
April 6, 1984 may seem to be a long time ago, but memories of the failed coup d'etat on this day still remains fresh in the minds of Cameroonians. April 6, 1984 may seem to be a long time ago, but memories of the failed coup d'etat on this day still remains fresh in the minds of Cameroonians. This day was the day the attempted coup was carried out by mutineers to unseat the head of state. We actually heard it on the radio. It was about 48 hours after that the president came out to address the nation of what had happened in the country. History has it that on this day, rogue elements from the Republican Guards tried to overthrow His Excellency President Paul Biya, who had succeeded President Amadou Ahidjo on November 6, 1982. After nearly 23 years as President of Cameroon, Amadou Ahidjo voluntarily resigned but remained President of the Cameroon National Union, CNU, the ruling party. However, because of an alleged power struggle between Ahidjo and President Biya, Amadou Ahidjo opted for exile in July 1983. In early April 1983, President Biya proceeded to transfer a section of the palace guard who were in majority from the Muslim North. This might have angered them and perhaps forced them to stage the abortive coup. Some Cameroonians reminiscing on this day think the failed coup d'etat changed the perception of the ruler. When he was newly installed, he was an outgoing president, but after the coup, he became more of an introvert and created a clan of people with whom he is now governing the country. However, others wished the coup d'etat actually materialized.
Je garde un très mauvais souvenir de ce coup d'etat. Parce qu'il n'aurait pas dû manquer. C'est que nous ne sommes pas dans cette souffrance aujourd'hui.
I hold very bad memories of this day. It was better if the coup d'etat was successful. We wouldn't have been in this kind of suffering. We are suffering. If it did, we wouldn't have had this regime today, which is frustrating us. This regime is a regime of thieves.
Des voleurs, des bandits.
Whatever opinions people hold, one thing that cannot be erased is the fact that the coup was abortive.
The fourth edition of the Islamic Solidarity Games will run from the 12th to the 22nd of May 2017, and Cameroon will be taking part and competing in 8 disciplines. Tabby Clarkson has more.
Cameroon rulers from the 12th to the 22nd of May 2017 take part in the Islamic Solidarity Games. The announcement was made this Wednesday, April 5th, by the President of the Cameroon's National Olympic and Sports Committee. Colonel Ahmad Kalkaba Maboum announced the good news during a press briefing in Yaoundé. The colonel revealed that some over 5,000 athletes are expected in the games that will take place in Baku in Azerbaijan. The 5,000 athletes will be competing in 26 sports disciplines. Members of Team Cameroon are expected to arrive Baku on the 8th of May. Cameroonian athletes will be competing in 8 sports disciplines, Amongst them, weightlifting, athletics, volleyball women, handball women, judo, and football will be represented by the under-23 Indomitable Lions. This year's edition of the Islamic Solidarity Games will be the fourth of its kind, and in the previous editions, Cameroon has won 2 medals, 1 in silver and 1 in bronze. The Islamic Solidarity Games, which is open to non-Muslim athletes, according to Colonel Kalkaba Maboum, is an additional opportunity for Muslims to rally behind a common cause, that of helping in the development of our nations, and also to combat those who use Islam to perpetrate evil doings. Cameroon's delegation is already in camp, seriously preparing for the games.
Recalcitrant drivers in Kom, a municipality in the Wouri division, have been warned that they may face sanctions if they fail to make good use of the newly constructed motor park in that locality. For more, Gladys Ambo Dibang.
The population of Tatum, a municipality in the Wouri division of the northwest region of Cameroon, has been instructed not to consume water currently being supplied by the council. The mayor says the water is still unfit for consumption and has urged the population to exercise patience until the water is treated. The mayor was speaking at the council administrative, management and stores account session of the council, during which he equally expressed regret at the irresponsible attitude of some inhabitants who are hampering the smooth functioning of activities at the newly constructed Tatum market and the motor park.
Still some are very timid. Why? Because some people prefer to take vehicles along the road, and it's a thing we are trying to discourage, because Tatum will never grow unless we respect situations as such. So I'm appealing to the population of Tatum and everybody that they should respect the orders of the council by following the normal procedure in entering Tatum and going out of Tatum.
The Kumbo Council was lauded for having made significant strides in the management and collection of waste in collaboration with the Peace Corps volunteer and other partners, including Positive Vision Cameroon.
We are calling on the population of Kumbo Council to come out in their numbers, especially those who can contribute, because not everybody is aware of the problems of their community. So we need people who can contribute.
The council noticed a drop in revenue of about 12.89% in 2016 and has been blamed on the prevailing situation in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. That notwithstanding, 19 denominational and government primary and nursery schools received didactic material from the council.
Well, it is on that note from COM that we'll be putting an end to this edition of the 6th of April 2017. Please do not go away. Coming up next will be Obosi, presented by Senator Cletus, and at 8 here will be standing the one and only Henry Kejang Atembe. From all of us here to all of you, tomorrow is another day, God willing.